Welcome to episode 204, which is a Girl Take the Lead soundbite, which is a shorter episode that may be a bit more about a topic we've covered or a quick inspiration, like our episode today. And I'm your host, Yo Canny. Giving Tuesday is December 3rd, 2024, and we wanted to share some ideas for organizations you may want to consider in your giving plan. In the past year, we've been fortunate to have had guests that feature some very cool organizations, and we'll have ways that you can contact them for any donations you'd like to make this Giving Tuesday, and that'll be in the show notes. Those guests and organizations were Gardner in episode 135, who, after being invited to work with students in Parkland, Florida, after the horrific mass shooting in 2018, founded a therapeutic arts nonprofit organization called Thread. In episode 149, Blue Faery, the Adrian Wilson Liver Cancer nonprofit organization, was introduced to us by her sister, Andrea Wilson Woods. In episode 157, Mother's Day Movement with Dominica Turcan featured the African Education Program. In 165, Claire Lechance, president and CEO of introduced ReSurge International and told us all about their great work. In 169, Suparna told us about her work with 4 different nonprofits. And in episode 190, we talked about the Nancy Walton Laurie Leadership Institute of Chi Omega. But let's back up a moment with the question, what is Giving Tuesday all about and what's its history? Giving Tuesday is always the Tuesday after Thanksgiving in the United States. It is touted as a global generosity movement unleashing the power of people and organizations to transform their communities and the world. It was started in 2012 by Henry Timms at the 92nd Street Y in New York. As an organization, Giving Tuesday promotes the concept of generosity, not as a benevolence that haves show to the have-nots, but rather an expression of solidarity and reciprocity. To that end, they execute several year-round activities to support the generosity sector around the world. So I'm always intrigued by this question, like what happens to our brain when we are generous and kind? And it turns out that our brains release chemicals that make us feel good and promote feelings of connection and trust. Releases oxytocin, a hormone and neurotransmitter that's released when we give and is associated with feelings of pleasure, connection, and trust. It is sometimes called the cuddle hormone. Dopamine, a chemical messenger that can cause a feeling of euphoria and is sometimes called the helper's high. And then there's the brain's reward centers like the mesolimbic system, which is the brain's pleasure and reward pathway, which lights up when we give, and the orbital frontal cortex. And this part of the brain is activated when we give and is also thought to be involved in assessing the value of our decisions. The effects of generosity on the brain can be present even before the act of giving itself, such as when we're shopping for a gift or wrapping it. So guess what, you guys? You're probably experiencing a few happy chemicals in your brain right now, just listening to this episode. Plus, there's a lot of other areas that feel good too in our bodies, like our guts. The vagus nerve aids our digestion and is also known as the caretaking organ because of its involvement when we are caring for others. When researchers showed a video of a woman injured in an accident, they measured the vagus nerves of their subjects as well as their heart rate and stress levels. Those who reported feeling the most compassionate also showed reduced stress, and lower heart rates. Researchers have connected activity in the vagus nerve to feeling optimism, physical health, and greater artistic appreciation. Perhaps the best thing scientists have discovered about compassion is that we can cultivate it. Our desire to give grows the more we give. And it turns out that we're better off because of it. Did you know that Giving Tuesday has a global presence through 75 country movements spanning the world, each representing their own cultures and needs, while remaining united in their determination to mobilize their countries around generosity and shared humanity? In each country, a team of entrepreneurial leaders work with their own ecosystems of communities, nonprofits, platforms, religious institutions, families, schools, and private sector partners to drive increased giving, connection, and innovation. Here's some interesting statistics around charitable giving. In 2023, Americans donated a total of $557 billion to various causes, with individual giving comprising the largest share at $374 billion, or 67% of total contributions. Corporate giving showed a positive trend, increasing by 3% to $36 billion in the same year. Religious organizations remain the largest beneficiaries of donations, receiving 24% of total giving. However, sectors like education, human services, and public society benefit have seen steady growth, with many achieving record highs in 2023. Approximately 61 million U.S. adults volunteered in a year, contributing an estimated 4.1 billion hours, valued at $122 billion. This highlights the significant non-monetary contributions that bolster charitable efforts. Younger generations, millennials and Gen Zers, are becoming increasingly engaged in philanthropy. They prioritize relationships and prefer giving in ways aligned with their values, often leveraging online platforms for donations. And something we've covered with Heather McLeod Grant in episode 167, a substantial wealth transfer estimated at $84 trillion by 2045 is expected to increase charitable contributions significantly as planned giving strategies become more common. We also know that women are leading the way in giving. While detailed statistics specifically comparing women's contributions to men on Giving Tuesday are not readily available, research consistently shows that women are more likely than men to donate to charitable causes and volunteer. Women often prioritize giving to education, human services, healthcare, and aligning with common Giving Tuesday campaigns. Furthermore, women are typically more involved in smaller, community-focused donations, whereas men are more likely to give in larger amounts to fewer causes. And this is something that Heather shared with us as well. Women are indeed leading philanthropic efforts, and their contributions are on the rise. Research shows that women, particularly in philanthropic circles, are more motivated by empathy and social causes. For instance, women tend to give more than men, not just financially, but also donating time, talent, and their networks. This trend has been seen across various forms of giving, including Giving Tuesday. One key finding is that women's involvement in philanthropy is growing rapidly, especially among single women, Black, and LGBTQ plus households who have often supported social justice causes and organizations. Moreover, women are behind 70% of giving circles, which emphasize collaborative giving and grassroots engagement. And if you want to know more about giving circles, let me know, because I'm in one for Girl Scouts, and they can be adapted to any community-minded effort. And on that note, we'll end this episode so you can make your donation because I'll be making mine to the above organizations based on my proceeds from my online store sales, which I'll need to supplement a bit because my store just got started in August and I don't have a lot of sales at this point, but what I have, I'll give away. But before you go, I'd like to share this poem called Kindness by Naomi Shihab Nye, which she wrote in 1952. Before you know what kindness really is, you must lose things. Feel the future dissolve in a moment like salt in a weakened broth. What you held in your hand, what you counted and carefully saved, all this must go, so you know how desolate the landscape can be between the regions of kindness. How you ride and ride thinking the bus will never stop, the passengers eating maize and chicken will stare out the window forever. Before you learn the tender gravity of kindness, you must travel where the Indian in a white poncho lies dead on the side of the road. You must see how this could be you, how he too was someone who journeyed through the night with plans, and the simple breath that kept him alive. Before you know kindness as the deepest thing inside, you must know sorrow as the other deepest thing. You must wake up with sorrow. You must speak to it till your voice catches the thread of all sorrows and you see the size of the cloth. Then it is only kindness that makes sense anymore. Only kindness that ties your shoes and sends you out into the day to gaze at bread. Only kindness that raises its head from the crowd of the world to say, "It is I you have been looking for," and then goes with you everywhere like a shadow or a friend. So lovely, right? Thank you for listening today, and we sure hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a comment wherever you listen to your podcasts, tell a friend about us, join our public Facebook group, Girl Take the Lead, or visit our website, girltaketheleadpod.com. We also have a YouTube channel where your subscription would be appreciated. Once you're on YouTube, just search for Girl Take the Lead. And we've recently expanded to YouTube Music, where your subscription would be appreciated. And you can find a video of this episode. You can also find a video on Spotify. Our next episode will feature our guest, Lisa DeFrank Cole, who talks with us about resiliency and other important traits for women leaders. Lisa is director and F. Frank Perry Endowed Professor of Leadership Studies at West Virginia University and is widely known for her academic and practical expertise in women's leadership. So please join us again. Talk to you soon. Bye.